Assalamu alaikum. This is Prapunti Chakraborty welcoming you to the English news from Btv-Chattogram. Let's begin with the top stories. Government to improve quality of health services appointing 1 lakh health workers, says Prime Minister Tariq Rahman. Prime Minister calls upon Hajj pilgrims to pray for welfare of the country and the people. Government working to formulate policy for protecting journalists and introduce retirement allowance for veterans, informs Information and Broadcasting Minister. Shipping Minister calls upon mariners to perform duties with honesty and dedication for enhancing country's global reputation. Iran closes Strait of Hormuz again ahead of second round of talks with US in Islamabad on Monday. Viewers, those were the top stories. Now moving on to the details. Prime Minister Tariq Rahman said his government is committed to improving and decentralizing the health care, ensuring better services up to the Upazila level. He said this addressing Upazila Health and Family Planning Officers Conference 2026 at the Osmani Memorial Auditorium in the capital today. The Health Services Division of the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare organized the conference. The Prime Minister said physicians are the closest friends of people suffering from illness and true companions in times of crimes. In many cases, a doctor's advice and sincere behavior play a more effective role than medicine, noting that the life-threatening failure of the previous two governments in not vaccinating children against measles across the country as an unforgivable crime, he said. He said the current government wants to build a healthy Bangladesh. Tariq Rahman said this government's policy in healthcare management is prevention is better than cure. Health and Family Welfare Minister Sardar Mohammad Shawkat Hussain, State Minister Dr. M.A. Mohit, Health Secretary Mohammad Kamaruzzaman Chaudhary, Director General of Health Directorate Professor Dr. Prabhat Chandra Bishash spoke on this occasion. At the event, Prime Minister Tariq Rahman handed over crests to 6 doctors nominated under the emergency service category. Prime Minister Tariq Rahman has said his government will try to further reduce the expenses of pilgrimage to Saudi Arabia from next year to facilitate the country's Muslim devotees to perform the Holy Hajj at lower cost. He said this while inaugurating this year's Hajj flight at the Hazrat Shah Jalal International Airport last night. At that time, the Prime Minister was seen talking to each of the pilgrims on board and shaking hands with them. Tariq Rahman also requested the pilgrims to pray to Allah for his government so that they can run the country in a good manner, addressing all crises, including unemployment problem. He wished the pilgrims good health and safe journey on the occasion of the Hajj. The Prime Minister joined a munajat inside the aircraft, seeking blessings of the Almighty Allah for successful accomplishment of the Hajj rituals. Religious Affairs Minister Qazi Shah Mufazzal Hussain Kaikobad, Health and Family Welfare Minister Sardar Mohammad Shawkat Hussain, Civil Aviation and Tourism Minister Afroza Khanum Rita, and State Minister M. Rushiduzzaman Milat and Saudi Ambassador to Bangladesh Dr. Abdullah Zafar bin Abia were present on the occasion. Moving on, and with others. Earlier, Prime Minister Tariq Rahman visited the Ashkona Hajj camp and exchanged pleasantries with the Hajj pilgrims. The Premier talked to pilgrims, hugging them and shaking hands. At that time, Tariq Rahman joined the munajat there, wishing successful completion of the Hajj rituals. A total of 78,500 pilgrims from Bangladesh will perform Hajj in 2026. Of them, 4,565 will travel under the government arrangement, while 73,935 will go through private Hajj agencies. The annual Hajj pilgrimage has officially begun as pilgrims set out to perform the sacred journey. At the capital's Ashkona Hajj camp, a rush of last-minute preparations is underway. From the camp, pilgrims are being transported by special arrangements to Hazrat Shahjal International Airport for their departure. At the main gate of the camp, large crowds of relatives have gathered, some to bid farewell, others to offer final prayers. The emotional scenes are a familiar sight every year. Earlier last year, Prime Minister Tariq Rahman formally inaugurated this year's Hajj flight operations. On the first day, a total of 14 flights are scheduled to operate. Officials said that about half of these flights have already departed on time, while the remaining flights are also expected to leave as scheduled. For the first time, a number of pilgrims have been provided with the Nusuk card ahead of the Hajj. Authorities said this initiative will be expanded further in the future. This year, approximately 78,500 pilgrims from Bangladesh are traveling to Saudi Arabia for Hajj. Among them, 4,565 are under government arrangements, while 73,935 are traveling under private management. Nearly half of the pilgrims will be transported by Biman Bangladesh Airlines. Saudia and Flynas will carry the rest of pilgrims. All Hajj-related formalities are being completed at that camp. Law enforcement agencies have been deployed to ensure security. Pilgrims expressed deep emotion as they embark on this spiritual journey, praying for a safe and successful completion of this important act of worship. Subject to moon sighting, the Hajj is expected to take place on 26 April. Return flights are scheduled to begin from 30th May and will continue until 1st July. Information and Broadcasting Minister Zahiruddin Shahpoon has said that the significant progress has been made toward introducing a retirement allowance for senior journalists. He made the remarks this morning while visiting aligning journalist Ismail Hussain Nigaban at Bangladesh Medical University. During the visit, the minister handed over a check of 1 lakh taka to Ismail, a former president of the Borshal Press Club, as financial assistance from the Journalist Welfare Trust. Managing director of the trust, Bakhtir Jamal, and trustee board member Khandukar Kausar Hussain was present at that time. Later, speaking to journalists, the Information and Broadcasting Minister said that the issue of financial security for senior journalists had long been neglected. In this context, the government has taken the initiative to introduce a retirement allowance for them, he added. Zahiruddin Shahpoon also added that the government is giving the highest priority to formulating the policies to ensure the safety and protection of journalists. The government has taken various initiatives to ensure a normal fuel supply at petrol pumps across the country. The supply of octane and diesel at petrol stations is largely normal. However, there are queues of cars and motorcycles in front of the pumps to collect fuel. Petrol pump authorities say that the fuel supply remains mostly stable and there is no reason for customers to panic unnecessarily. Shipping Minister Sheikh Rubiul Alam called upon mariners to enhance Bangladesh's reputation worldwide by performing their duties with honesty and integrity. He made this call as the chief guest at the passing out parade of the 28th batch of ratings at the National Maritime Institute in the port city of Chattogram today. The minister said that Raater President Ziaur Rahman and former Prime Minister Begum Khalida Zia made outstanding contributions to the development of the maritime sector in the country. 200 trainees of the 28th batch of National Maritime Institute entered their professional lives through a march past and an orderly parade. Minister Sheikh Rubiul Alam remembered the great proclaimer of independence, Raater President Ziaur Rahman, and former Prime Minister Begum Khalida Zia with deep respect. He mentioned that the foundation of modernizing of this institution was laid in 1992 by Begum Khalida Zia, as a result of which Bangladeshi mariners are getting international standard training and employment opportunities abroad. Mentioning the special importance of the current government in the development of the maritime sector in Bangladesh, the minister said that one of the best stimulators in Asia has been installed in this institute. Through this, the quality of training has increased manifold. Rabi Islam Khanun was awarded the gold medal and Parrot Commander Rahmatullah was awarded the silver medal for the best all-round rating for his meritorious contribution in the event. The event was presided over by the principal of the institute, Captain Atar Rahman, and was attended by State Minister of Shipping Muhammad Rajib Ahsan, Secretary Zakaria, and Chattogram Port Authority Chairman Rear Admiral S.M. Munir-Zaman, along with senior military and civil officials. Now, international news. Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps says control of the Strait of Hormuz has now returned to its previous state because of the U.S.'s continuing blockade of Iranian ports. U.S. President Donald Trump says the naval blockade will remain in full force until our transaction with Iran is 100% complete. Earlier, Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said the strait is completely open to all commercial vessels, in line with the ceasefire in Lebanon and on the coordinated route as already announced. Trump said Israel is prohibited from bombing Lebanon as the first day of a 10-day ceasefire in the country saw tens of thousands of people return to homes they were forced to flee during weeks of Israeli attacks. Meanwhile, after marathon talks over the weekend failed to secure an agreement, officials are looking at a second round of negotiations to end the U.S. and Israeli war against Iran. President Trump and his administration are open to resuming in-person talks as soon as he believes Iran is prepared to meet his demands, the White House confirmed. That could mean a second meeting with Iranian officials before the two-week ceasefire expires on April 21st, or potentially extending the ceasefire. Future talks are under discussion, but nothing has been scheduled at this time, a White House official told Time. Pakistan has proposed hosting a second in-person meeting in Islamabad, Pakistani officials told the Associated Press. Turkey, which was among several intermediaries involved in weeks of negotiations, is also understood to be stepping in to try and resolve the differences between the U.S. and Iran. The Trump administration has also ramped up pressure on Tehran to accept their demands by imposing a naval blockade on vessels going to or from Iranian ports through the Strait of Hormuz. Sri Lanka's Energy Minister Kumara Jayakody and Ministry Secretary Udayanga Himapala resigned following an outcry over coal imports for power generation. Jayakody stepped down to make way for investigations to be carried out into alleged imports of low-quality coal for Sri Lanka's only coal-fired power plant, according to a state forms from the president's media office. The resignations were handed over to Sri Lanka President Anura Kumara Dasayanaki yesterday. Jayakody is the first high-profile cabinet minister to resign over corruption allegations, and his move comes after he faced a no-confidence motion, which was defeated in Parliament last week. 9 members of a 12-member tourist group from Malappuram district in Kerala were killed, where their van plunged off a hairpin bend on the Ghat road at Valparai in Coimbatore district on Friday. 3 of the critically injured were shifted from Pollachi to a capital hospital in Coimbatore for advanced treatment. Most of the passengers in the van were teachers of the government lower primary school. The group visited several tourist destinations. The accident occurred while they were returning from Valparai. Back to national news. The 19-day Independence Book Fair organized by the Chattogram City Corporation on the occasion of the Great Independence and National Day in Chattogram City ended today. 13 distinguished individuals and 3 institutions were awarded Independence Memorial Awards at the closing ceremony of the book fair at the gymnasium ground of the Chattogram District Stadium. City Mayor Dr. Shahadat Hussain was the chief guest at the event. He said, "Those who have contributed in various fields have been honored not on the basis of any ideology but by the evaluation of their talent." Chattogram City Corporation Acting Chief Executive Officer Mohammad Ashraful Amin presided over, while Abu Sufyan MP, Divisional Commissioner Dr. Muhammad Ziauddin, Chattogram Range DIG Muhammad Munir Zaman, CMP Commissioner Hassan Muhammad Shakwat Ali, Vice Chancellor of Premier University Professor M.M. Nasrul Qadir, and Valiant Freedom Fighter Dr. Mahfuzur Rahman, among others, addressed the occasion.